and of course, much of the credit for the inclusion of that provision in the Armed Services Authorization Bill goes to you as a senator from Alaska and as subcommittee chairman here. So thank you for that. There's a lot I need to mention, and I only have a moment or two. Let me mention junior ROTC. You and I spoke about this. Admiral Lunday, thank you for whatever role you may have played in directing that 2 new units be established in April of this year, one in Oregon and one in Alaska. I think junior ROTC is a great citizenship builder, and it helps our readiness, and I just wish we could have twice as many, because it's been proven. Secondly, Senator Schatz and I have legislation that would require an annual plan and budget display for Coast Guard operations in the Pacific. So if you would speak to the relationship that the Coast Guard and DOD have, and tell us what you need extra of this top line that you mentioned to increase our op tempo in the Indo-Pacific.
Mr. Chairman, thank you for your question on the Indo-Pacific. You know, the Coast Guard, well, first of all, the United States is not only a Pacific nation, we're also a Pacific Island nation because of Hawaii and our 3 territories there. And so the Coast Guard's been present in Hawaii, in the Pacific for a very long time, and we work very closely with the Department of War there. And our presence has increased in the Pacific. Since I served out there as the commander of the Oceania District, we've added 9 additional cutters. Congress has funded in the FY24 appropriation the addition of 2 more fast response cutters to go to Guam. We shifted a medium endurance cutter permanently to the Pacific to increase our operations there. And the 26 appropriation that is pending now would add another $116 million in operating funds to improve training, engagement teams throughout the Pacific Island nations, and to strengthen U.S. national security and defense in the Indo-Pacific. And so it's a vital area of operations, and we continue to expand our commitment and our footprint into the Indo-Pacific, because that's not just somewhere over there. The Indo-Pacific for us is also the U.S. homeland because of Hawaii and our 3 territories.
Do I take it from your testimony, and the answer to the question is we've made a good start, we've got a lot more to do?
Yes, sir, we do. We've made a good start, but we have much more to do to strengthen our presence in the Indo-Pacific.
And are you also suggesting that our plus-ups really should be part of the regular appropriations process, ideally, rather than going through the reconciliation process? Or do you have a position on that, sir?
Well, yes, sir. Certainly the reconciliation process infuses an investment that's needed, but it really must be supported by sustained investment in the capitalization money and also our operating funds, because these assets are badly needed, but it's the crews that operate them that make the Coast Guard able to do what it does.
And the annual top line does matter, doesn't it?
It does, yes, sir.
Now, okay, tell us about about where we are on helicopters. We put some money in for the Jayhawks. Apparently, we're phasing out the Dolphins, actually the MH-60 Jayhawks. Are we moving then to a combination of that, just simply called the Jayhawk and not the MH-60? Where are we on that? You've got to clear us up.
Yes, sir. Senator, the MH-60, we call our variant the Jayhawk, and so we are moving toward primarily, and have been on a road to move to a 60 rotary wing fleet. We are continuing to look at other options, and then reconciliation investment is given that, because the older 65 short-range helicopter is approaching obsolescence.
The Dolphin.
The Dolphin. Much harder to maintain. The original equipment manufacturer doesn't supply parts. So we're phasing those out, and we're growing the 60s.
Over what time, sir?
Well, the original was to phase them out by 2037, but we think the sunset's going to come much faster given the obsolescence.
Because of the reality there. Well, keep us posted on there. And again, I think we got Mr. Chairman, if you'll just indulge me, I think we got $2 billion in last year's reconciliation for the Jayhawks. So keep telling us what you need. What are your plans for Coast Guard Station Pascula? I know it's not in Alaska, but there are Coast Guard facilities elsewhere in the country.
I didn't know that. That's really good to know.
Will we be returning to full response operations according to your plans at Coast Guard Station Pascula?
Yes, sir, we will. I made a decision in December to restore that to a full mission of response station. We had downgraded it in 2023 when I commanded Atlantic Area. I was part of that because of our severe personnel shortages. And now we're in a position where we need to restore it to full response operations, and we're going to do that in 2026.
Was that a mistake or just something you had to do?
Something we had to do, Senator, because we were so short of personnel. But based on recruiting successes over the last several years, we're now in a position to restore it to full operations.
How important, and this is my last question, Mr. Chairman, and you all have been very indulgent, how important are autonomous systems going to be going forward?
Well, they're critical, Senator. And we've made investments in those systems, especially fueled by the budget reconciliation investment. In fact, we've already, in that $7.8 billion that we've already obligated, we've purchased a number of short-range and medium-range autonomous systems, both air and surface, and even subsurface. They're providing us an ability and a capability we didn't have before to perform our missions. And there's also funding for long-range UAS that we haven't yet obligated, but we're on track to.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.